Hello everyone, and now welcome to game 2 in this series between Goody and LZ here. Oh my gosh, on Daybreak. Temporary mental lapse there, not remembering the name of the map. Here on Daybreak, game 2 in the series between Goody and LZ. Goody spawning as the purple Terran on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, LZ is spawning as the red Zerg on the bottom left hand side of the map. Terran versus Zerg once more, and Goody in game 1 tried to play a little bit devious and really just got bit for it, not really knowing what LZ's strategy was going to be. LZ, after that proxy 2 racks, was able to just train up a lot more Zerglings, much more than Goody perhaps had anticipated, and with that, he just took an absolute beating. Now, will LZ perhaps face another proxy 2 racks, or will Goody perhaps play a little bit more traditionally here on Daybreak? LZ spawning as the red Zerg once more on the bottom left, as we are now placing down a barracks by Goody. Goody, will he be getting up a refinery, or will he just be going for that simple 1 racks expand? 1 racks expand has become very, very common as of late, as you never want to let the Zerg player get too far ahead. LZ now going to be placing down that hatchery here at about the 2-minute 10-second mark. Standard 15 hatchery first, as we are now looking and waiting for that spawning pool. Follow-up play, Goody should be making his way down with an SCV, perhaps even having the SCV mine a little bit first, and then placing on the command center here. Goody's options at this point: set up and keep up in terms of economy, and then also follow up with a lot more barracks. After that, he could go ahead and try to go into double gas with those 3 racks, and then start to place down a little bit of pressure. Zerg players have really found a way to deal with much of the pressure that Terran players have learned here in Wings of Liberty, knowing that early Marines and just the right number of Zerglings to clean them up. Also knowing about Hellions and knowing how many queens you need in order to fend off that attack and that harassment as well. You can see Goody starting that command center now. Overlord does spot the command center, and with that, LZ knows what exactly Goody is up to and knows pretty much all of the timing just with scouting with Overlords. Now, LZ is going to be a very, very smart Zerg player, positioning these Overlords out of the reach of any Marines, but in position to perhaps intercept or at least scout out any drops which may come into play. Goody going into double supply depots here on the front door. We can see that there is the double refinery. We'll wait and see if Goody does follow this up with double barracks, or if he tries to go for factory first. Factory will allow him to go further up that tech tree, but Goody needs a lot more production buildings now, and it's still going to be about another 30 seconds before he can start that factory. Taking a look, Zerglings now wandering around the map. You can see 1 Marine, still no bunker down here on the low ground, as LZ currently holds a 23-20 harvester advantage. LZ also benefiting from having 2 queens down at the low ground, training up a 3rd queen here. That's the right amount of queens if you're expecting any early harassment, as we are now going into a 3rd command center. Alright, this 3rd command center does come as a bit of a big surprise to me. Goody being very aggressive in the economic game. He's going to have a very, very high count, as an Overlord may end up spotting this. Does an Overlord spot this? No, it does not. Marines are going to get over there in time and then start shooting at this 1 Overlord. Overlord is now taking a lot of damage. Is it going to be able to get away? That is the key question. Down to 57, 40, 32, 22, 10, 4 hit points. There it goes. 1 Overlord already shot down, as its blood drips into space. A 2nd Overlord may make its way over as well, but the key point was that this 1 command center was not spotted. If that command center was spotted, perhaps LZ would be a little bit more aggressive in terms of his droning, but no, we're looking at LZ actually going very heavy into the Roach Warren. Goody's problem now is that he's only having 2 production buildings, and he does not have, he does not have the necessary units in order to deal with all of these roaches, which may be coming out soon. You can see that the reactor is already being added here. Are we perhaps going to be going into reactor Hellion play, or is this going to be Marine medevac play? Only time can tell here, as an engineering bay is blocking that third location. So far, LZ just now spots it, making its way over and now doing a little bit of dart damage onto that engineering bay. The engineering bay still has plenty of hit points to absorb and perhaps delay. So far, Hellions are being trained. We are adding on that tech lab now. We are going into a Viking for more Overlord hunting, and still sitting on 2 gas with 2 more on the way. Harvester count 39 to 35, as Goody is significantly behind in terms of his overall supply count. Army compositions, the number of roaches that you see should be a very, very large concern, as Goody does not have the right units. I am not sure how Goody will be able to recover from this at all. Now, Zerglings making their way down. They are going to be able to do a little bit more scouting. We can see if this game goes long, the game will be good news for Goody, as we are just now getting into Banshees. The Banshees need to hurry up in order to deal with the Roaches, and also perhaps the Banelings, which will be making a move momentarily. 16 Zerglings on the way. Many of them have a future in Banelingnism, as Roaches now going to perhaps charge up the ramp. There is 1 bunker in position. Marines, Hellions, SCVs being brought over. Are they on auto repair? No, they are not. A Viking is nearby, and here you go. SCVs are now trying to repair. Is it going to be enough? It looks like the Roaches are not going to be able to do that much damage at all, as the Zerglings are being forced to back off. Banshee now looking to come in. Baneling Nest is going to be the follow-up play here, as the Viking is keeping track of all of these units. Zerglings here, Roaches on 1 door, Banelings on another, and the Vikings, does it spot this? This is perhaps very bad news, as the Roaches now may accidentally reveal the Banelings coming in from around the corner. SCVs are in position. The Banelings, are they moving? Yes, they are, and this is bad news indeed. Oh, this is so bad. Banelings are detonating. There you go. So many units have fallen already, as more Banelings continuing to follow up the play. Is it going to be able to make it up onto the high ground? Yes. And double front door, double destruction, double death, double your FUD without the gum, as the Roaches are now cleaning up all of these Hellions here. Siege tank now in the backfield. Is it going to be able to do much? The Roaches pretty much walking forward and able to deal so much damage to this siege tank. 2 Banshees in the air, pretty much all that is left to clean up these Roaches, as Goody is now down by about 40 supply. 50 supply and increasing, as the siege tank now makes its way over. Another siege tank gets taken down. Very poor micro coming in from Goody, as you now see Goody sitting at 42 over 49. Zerglings looking to clean up perhaps some more of these SCVs. SCVs, however, should be able to stay alive a little bit longer, as there are enough Banshees in the air. But with 32 workers killed, 58 drones versus 19 SCVs, this is an absolute miracle if Goody can be able to come back into this in the next, well, ever. All right, Banshees are in position. We'll see siege tanks are being added. This will be the siege tank push of a lifetime if Goody is able to capitalize on this. You can take a look. Army compositions are about, no, Goody much better in terms of army composition, but I don't think Goody is going to be ballsy enough to actually move out with Zerg running on so many hatcheries. You can see another macro hatch being placed down here. As soon as any units are seen marching across the field, 1 inject later, and you will just have about 40 Zerglings just swarming all over you, taking down those siege tanks. There are enough queens to deal with those medevacs, those Banshees, as you can see, and especially add in the fact that the queens have so much energy. That is just bad news there. Okay, trying to get some darting in damage there. Banshee already down to 77, 68 hit points, continuing to make its way off north. Banshees are considered light units there, as this hatchery will get punished a little bit, but the queens should be able to put enough pressure there very easily. Siege tanks, Hellions, a 3rd orbital command, 29 SCVs versus 68 drones. More supply depots being placed down. More Marines perhaps needed in order. And there is the game. Goody just surrendering game 2 here. And we have LZ taking game 2 in this best of 3 series. LZ wins 2-0. Now, please stay tuned for game 3, which is not going to be a game 3 between LZ and Goody, obviously. Was looking for a best of 3 series, couldn't find it, but I will mislabel game 3. It will be a bonus cast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.